that these people don't know the first thing about army and the functioning of the army. I mean, they are these people, whoever they may be, who are opposing them. Have they ever been in a tricky situation themselves? Have they ever been trained in the way that Major Gogoi and other young officers have been trained? You are trained to react to a situation as the best that you can possibly think. You are trained to use your initiative. You are trained to assess a situation very quickly and act. And I think the Major did a great job by doing what he did. And I think most of us, anyone who's been through the services, had we been in that position, we would have done the same thing, including myself. So I think this is a unnecessary sort of reaction by those people, who those so-called peaceniks or whatever they may be, who don't, because they've never been in a tight situation. They are sitting and sort of espousing peace or whatever they may be calling it. If you want to bring Kashmir to the negotiating table, the writ of the government must run. That you must understand. And who will bring the writ about? It will be the defense services. They will bring them. They will break their backbone and bring them to the table. That is the only way that you can get this. And if you think that we can do it in any other way, you are barking up the wrong tree.
But Captain
Let me tell you, I have seen this happening, not from now. Let me tell you, this has been happening for the last 25, 30 years. I remember when we were young officers and we were in Srinagar, we could walk anywhere. In our uniform, we used to go to see a cinema or go and see something else, and everything was fine and normal. And here things have changed, and who is, as I was listening to you when you were speaking, it is the ISI that's pushing it along. They have their own agenda, we have our own agenda, but for God's sake, the Indians should understand what the agenda is of Pakistan. It is to keep Kashmir disturbed. It is to keep and run their own sort of program within Kashmir. And these youngsters are easy, they fall prey to these sort of things. But the sensible people who talk like this, when they speak in this sort of manner, I think it's an utter disgrace.
Captain Amarinder, the National Conference and some of its leaders speaking to us yesterday, and this constituency is only expanding to include other political parties, have come out and said that rewarding Major Gogoi is actually only going to embolden army men to break the law, and this will only further alienate the people of Jammu and Kashmir. How do you react to that statement?
Do you think that Major Gogoi broke the law? He was given a task to perform. That task, he had his men with him. He was to bring a polling party out, and he was to also safeguard the CRP boys who were looking after that polling engagement. And he met a hostile crowd. And he took a decision in the best interest of bringing his boys out without any injury, and bringing whatever his charge was, to bring those people out without injury. And I think you should applaud him. And where should it embolden it? We have all been through the NDA and IMA. We have been taught initiative. We have been told to act, we should act on the spur of the moment when there's an emergency. And he did exactly that. That's what we are trained for. That is what the army is trained for. And if anybody doesn't understand things, I think they should go and do 6 months in some defense establishment and learn it. And more than that, I think they should don a uniform and go into the valley and face these pelting crowds. They'll come to know what it's all about.
Captain Amarinder, of course, you must be aware that there have been a large number of individuals who condemn Major Gogoi. There have been individuals who are at the apex of their academic careers who have said that what he did was actually wrong. There have been individuals, some ex-army men who have come out, including General Panag, who said that he would never have done such a thing. There are others, of course, political leaders, some within your own party, sadly, who will object to your coming out, and what they would say would be giving license to adventurism. Now, what is your specific response to these individuals? Because some of them are not individuals who can be dismissed. Yeah.
Intellectuals are intellectuals. They always find something wrong with something or the other. As far as General Panag, he is probably in an isolationist position. Is probably the only person, because you don't forget, I have been following this for the last, whatever it was, a month ago, whenever it happened, on the Facebook. And you should see the Facebook reactions which are coming from soldiers all over, or ex-soldiers from everywhere. Not one person. In fact, they all spoke out against General Panag for making that comment. And I don't know why General Panag has made such a comment. There was no need for it. He knows the way the army is trained and what they are supposed to do in such a situation. And these other super intellectuals, whoever they may be, their opinion really, I don't care. I'm interested in peace in Kashmir. Peace can come about when all this nonsense that is going on is stopped. And who can stop it? The defense services. That is the sum total of it. You stop this, break the backbone of this terrorism in Kashmir, and then you talk to them, and then let's bring about peace and a peaceful settlement and development in the state. As far as the National Conference is concerned, what else do you expect them to say? That is their constituency. You saw this time how much, what was the voting percentage? It is the fear of these stone pelters that prevented people from coming out. I think it was in Farooq Abdullah's, poor old Farooq's constituency, where he only got 7% of the polling. Now what does that indicate? It is indicated terror is being spread and people are not coming out because of that. And that should not happen in this country. Everybody is free to act, free to vote, and they have to be given some sort of support and moral support and also physical support to come out and vote.
So basically it's political expediency that is driving some of these individuals, or perhaps some allegiance to a greater cause for which they get funding, etc., which is actually driving some of these individuals to oppose Major Gogoi and the Army Chief's commendation. That's what Captain Amrinder is saying today.
No, I think these intellectuals have their own way of looking at things. Anything that they want to be one different to the others, or whatever the intellectual sort of belief is of them. But certainly, as far as the Army is concerned, as far as young Major Gogoi is concerned, I hope every young officer is trained, who is trained in this manner, would act in a responsible manner in this. You call that? Do you know that had he not tied that chap to the vehicle when it was moving around, they would have been shot at, they would have been pelted, a lot of people would have been injured, eyes would have been gouged out by stone throwing. All that would have happened. That young officer took the decision on the spur of the moment and prevented injury, prevented death, prevented everything. I think you should give up. I'm totally in with what the Army Chief has done, and my complete congratulations to him for having done it. And I'll
Captain
tell you
Amrinder, thank you
that
for
this
speaking
one
your mind
incident
here
which has
on
been
Times
done.
Now. Thank you for taking the time out to speak to me. I think you have set the record straight as far as this entire incident is concerned. And one only hopes that Captain Amrinder's voice is echoed by some of those today who have taken an oblique view of Major Gogoi and the commendation that he has been awarded. Thanks indeed, Captain Saab, for speaking to me. Nupur,
Okay.